Welcome back to the EJ Ward FuelView training series. In this video, we're going to be going over the acronyms that we're going to be using throughout the training series so that they're a little bit more familiar to you. So we're going to go ahead and start out, and our first acronym we're going to go over is FCT. Now this stands for Fuel Control Terminal, and what this is the actual terminal that we manufacture. And this is something that you would use to actually authorize a fueling. So it's usually what most people consider a card reader. And this refers to our Ward 3 RTXT FCT, our Ward 4 FCT, or our new IoT FCT. The next acronym that we have is RFFCTI. And what this stands for is Radio Frequency Fuel Control Terminal Interface. This is a board that is inside of the terminal itself, and it's used to talk to the hose modules, to our CAN sievers, and to a lot of the different entities that are inside of the Ward system. This one isn't used too much, but it is in the training. So this could be like our CAN sievers, our hose modules, our tags. A lot of those talk through the RFFCTI board, which is inside of the fuel control terminal. The next one that we have is ATU. ATU stands for Automatic Terminal Updater. This is a program that's developed by Ward that actually sends updates to the previous terminal versions, and that's our Ward 3 and our Ward 4 terminals that didn't communicate directly with the server like our IoT terminals. So our terminals, as we progress, they talk a little differently, and I'll explain those in kind of the hardware overview and the communications overview that we have. And our ATU is used to update the Ward 4 FCT quite a bit faster than it used to be when it first came out. It uses a couple different protocols, and it just makes things a little bit more smoother. The next one that we have is ATG. And ATG, there's also another acronym for this that we'll be going over here in just a sec, but this one stands for Automatic Tank Gauge. This is a device that has probes attached to it and sensors that go inside of the tanks. So this has the ability to have leak sensors on it. It has the ability to have probes on it that will gauge the levels. And this is a device that is manufactured by a third party and not Ward, but they do work with our system. Now the next acronym is the same thing, but it's a different company. So this one is TLS, and TLS stands for Tank Level Sensor. And that is an acronym that was coined by the company Veeder-Root, and it's the exact same thing as an ATG, but it's just what they call a Veeder-Root. So Veeder-Root has their TLS 350, their 450, their 250, and so forth. The next one we have, I've already used a little bit, and that's SaaS. SaaS is software as a service, and what this is simply a hosted piece of software. It's a software distribution model in which a third party, which would be Ward in this case, hosts applications and makes them available over the internet. So when you host a system with us, we have it on a server somewhere, and it's going out to you, so you can get to it anywhere in the world that you wanted to. As long as you have the username and password and the website address to go to, you can get in and start using it. The next one we have is TCP/IP. This is Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. What this is really simply, it's how your computer talks, and especially these days over Cat5. Some older customers might still have some dial-up, and then we have TCP/IP or wireless, which still goes over TCP/IP. And that is how all of our terminals communicate now since Ward 4, and as well as our IoT. The only ones that really support dial-up still are Ward 3 terminals. So if you still have Ward 3s with dial-up, we still support that in FuelView 4, but we use TCP/IP exclusively with our Ward 4s and our IoTs. So this is used to govern the connection of a computer systems to the internet. This references our servers, our FCTs, our Ward 4 CAN sievers, all of those use IP addresses, and they get it through TCP/IP. The next thing that we have is VPN. And that stands for Virtual Private Network. Basically, this extends your private network over a public network. And what this means is that, let's say I'm at home and I have a VPN to my work computer or my work network. My home computer acts just like it's sitting in one of the rooms inside of work. So it acts like it's inside of that network. And then I can get out of that VPN and it's back to where I have my own separate network at my house. And this is needed when we have SaaS customers that might have terminals that are sitting on their site. So we need to make a VPN tunnel between the actual SaaS server itself and the hardware so that they can talk back and forth efficiently. The next one we have is DHCP. This one stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. And this is just a network management protocol where devices on the network are assigned an address automatically from the DHCP server. So to get an IP address, you have two ways of doing it. And you can do a DHCP, which means you just plug it in and it automatically gets an IP address. This is how most people get their IP address. If you're at home and you set up a router that you just got from your internet provider and you plug it in, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be DHCP. You're going to get an address and everything's going to be fine. You don't have to touch it. The other way of doing it is static, and that means you have to type in the IP address manually before it can even try to connect because it doesn't know what address it is. It can't talk to all of the other addresses that are inside of the network. And this concludes our video on all of the acronyms that we use inside of the FuelView training. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.